everyone, and welcome to Title Tuesday. Today, I'm your host of this tournament, and my name is Anna-Maja Kazarian, and I'm super excited to be hosting this event today. How are you doing, guys? Hope you guys are all hyped up for the event. Let me have a look. I have so many tabs open. I'm really happy to be your host of today, guys. If you're not familiar with Title Tuesday is a weekly event where title players are participating in. I've also participated in myself, but today I'll be looking at the Masters, their games myself. So really excited for that. Let's just have a look at the format right away. Let's have a look. So the format is 11 rounds Swiss, with a time control of 3 minutes and 1 second increment. And as I said, this tournament happens every single Tuesday, as the title of the tournament suggests already. We also have amazing prizes available. Here we go, where there is a prize pool of $1,600, where the winner of this tournament wins $750. Second place go to $400. Second place wins $400. Third place wins $150, and fourth place wins $100. We also have a Best Woman prize winning $100, and we have a Best Streamers prize winning $100 of prizes as well. So, without further ado, I see that the games have started, so let's quickly switch to them. We have a lot of amazing players playing this time, one of them being Hikaru, so let's have a look at his game right away. Let's have a look. He's playing against someone, I think, from Paraguay. It looks almost like the flag of Croatia. An international master from Croatia. Let's see. Started with knight f3, d6, d4, turning into modern defense. All right. e3, bishop g4, takes, e5, and d takes e5. This is the position right now. We're really quickly jumping into the games. And let's have a look. As usual, we have the evil bar on the side. So yeah, we will quickly be able to see what the state of the position is. But yeah, let's have a look what's going on. Bishop g5, pinning that knight over there. And threatening knight d5. In response to that, black plays knight d4, attacking the queen that just moved to e3. And we are probably gonna be seeing... Okay, I was gonna say long castle, but that's not possible anymore. Maybe we'll see short castle instead, but the king is safe in the middle right now, so that's all good. Okay, c6 has been played, preventing knight d5, but rook takes a7. It drops a pawn. It's not too bad yet. Black can find some compensation here. Black is developed somewhat, and this king is not developed yet. But can you make use of that with black? Black plays queen d4, offering a trade of the queens and trying to complicate the position, because if white takes, pawn takes, and this knight will have to move. But you might have an in-between move. You can just take here, and then your pawn on e4 won't be hanging. So Hikaru takes on b7, taking some more pawns. Yeah, looking good so far. I see you guys are all hyped up. Let me know who you think is a favorite of today's event. As you can see in the standings, you can see the top players. So do you have a guess already? Do you think Hikaru is gonna take home the first prize? Or are we gonna see someone else win the first prize? Also, are we gonna see today a 100% score? It's always really interesting to see. And right now, black is taking his time. As I said, it's 3+1 time control, so I know from experience that, you know, it might feel like you have a lot of time. You know, we're all used to 3+2. This increment helps you a lot in the game, but 1 second is not a lot. Not a lot. It's enough to win the game if you're up a queen or whatever, but it's, you know, it's really hard to deal with if you're in a complicated position. So, okay, black is taking a lot of time. Okay, finally plays rook d8, but spending almost 2 minutes, that can already be deciding the game, because obviously Hikaru will not spend 2 minutes just like that. And Hikaru castles, and the king is safe now. Rook d8 was not threatening anything yet, but there were maybe some let me go back real quick. There are maybe some moves possible, like h6, kicking the bishop away, and then maybe knight takes e4. But obviously, Hikaru would not allow that. He plays bishop e3 just to be safe, and then castles safely. Let's have a look. Queen b4, rook d1 takes h6, and Hikaru is up 2 pawns, so he should be able to convert this to win easily. Black is in huge time trouble already. Drops another pawn on f7, and or maybe even on c6. Let's see what Hikaru prefers to take. I kind of want to feel. I kind of want to. Oh, he plays queen f1. Okay, he's making sure that the king is safe. It's quite surprising. I was gonna say take on f7. I like taking that pawn simply because it's so close to the king, and the pawns are not so connected anymore. But now black plays f4, and it's suddenly getting a bit complicated. White is still winning, obviously, but this is definitely a great start to some compensation. Hikaru plays, it takes it really easy, not complicating it too much. Trades on c5, queen c4, queen d7, activating the queen. Is there some perpetual possible here? Do you have to play knight d3 here to prevent queen e1? By the way, black has only 1 second, 2 seconds. Knight takes e5 has been played with check. Do you have to go back now to prevent queen e1? You can also play queen h2, but then you have to find a way to prevent queen g3. You probably just play queen g4. And there he goes. Ooh, black made it really close, actually. Black made it really, really close. Okay, this is absolutely winning. Queen h4. Still have to be careful here. And now it's checkmate. There you go. What a really well-played game by black, honestly. If black wouldn't have spent almost 2 minutes on their move, okay, 1.5 minutes, then it could have been really close because Hikaru was taking it really easily. There were some chances there for sure to equalize it, but practically speaking, obviously theoretically speaking, it was just completely winning for white. Let's have a look at the next game. Let's see who is still playing. Okay, we have Fender Rain against Airquake right here. Rook versus Bishop endgame. Pawns are even. This should be winning for white. It looks like, okay, there we see resignation. That should be easily winning. You just simply attack this pawn h5. And yeah. Slowly but surely, you'll be able to win one of the pawns and then win the game. Let's see who's next. The players are finishing really quickly. We have Fova versus Amin Tabai. Let's have a look what's going on here. So black is up a bishop, but it's a bishop versus how many pawns? 1, 2, 3, 4 pawns. 4 pawns. A bishop versus 4 pawns. That's... I would actually want to be playing with the white pieces here, simply for the fact that the pawns can actually promote to a queen, you know? And this bishop isn't so great. So I see winning chances here for white, but obviously it's not so simple. Black has a lot of play here. King is very active over here in the middle of the center, so in the middle of the board, that is. So rook f6. So white is able to take this pawn now, and the chances of black winning here ever are close to, very close to 0. Whereas white has 4 pawns still. And there you go. There goes 1. King d1. What's gonna happen? It will be quite tragic if this king ends up in the checkmate position. So for example, king c1 would have been already close to dangerous because you can put the rook to h2 and then checkmate with rook h1. That's getting really dangerous over here. I think... Okay, king d1. You gotta be really careful. Like, king c1 is obviously checkmate, so rook c6 has to be played to cover rooks with rook c1. And I'm guessing if you go rook h2, you'll just play rook e6, and that's how the game will end in a draw, most likely. Oof. c6. Is he gonna take this pawn? I wouldn't take that pawn. This pawn will promote. Oh, what was that? The evil bar went down really badly. I'm really curious what was missed, actually. I'm not able to see because it's really moving on quickly. The time! Both have like 1 second on the clock. And the evil bar is just jumping up and down. I don't know what's happening. White flagged in the winning position. Unbelievable. The king got out. So now white has the 3 pawns left, and one of them is just gonna promote. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So let's have a look real quick at this game because so many things happened. So it was white to move here. So obviously a move like rook e7 would have made sense. And then this pawn is just gonna promote, or like the bishop has to take and you just have 2 pawns left in the endgame, obviously winning. So here there was one moment. Yeah, I went to the perfect moment. So here the engine says there's mate in 6. I'm guessing it has to do with the fact that you can play bishop c3, bishop d4, and then at some point you'll just, or maybe there's bishop f4. Bishop f4, so the king cannot escape there, and if you play king e1, maybe some bishop e3. Oh, bishop e3. There is some checkmate pattern here. Rook h2 was the very logical move to threaten checkmate, as well as attacking that pawn. But it was replied with king e1, rook takes h6, b7, and the other pawn was just moving on. Wow. Really, really impressive play by both players, but sadly white flagged right here. And let's have a look. So we're already in round 2. Man, time flies. Okay, let's have a look at this game, guys. Bogdan Belyakov versus Hikaru. Again, more than defense. This time black is playing very aggressively with g5, f5. Love to see that. Putting pressure on the pawn on e4, also threatening f4, losing the bishop. So white decides to sacrifice their piece for 2 pawns. Now, I love to see that. If there's anything I love in online chess, it's sacrificing a piece for pawns, you know, to make the position complicated. I love it. I love it. It's, you know, I wouldn't say it's my trademark. It's something I do very often, but I wouldn't say it's my trademark. I don't think I'm famous for it, but I love to see this. Okay, black replies here with f4, trying to close down position so that the queen becomes very inactive. White plays queen e2 to try to bring it to h5 and bring it over to the attack. And as they usually say, if you are facing an attack on the side of the board, you try to attack in the center, and that is what Hikaru is applying here. Exactly. All right. It's really impressive to see how much how little time Hikaru has spent, whereas his opponent has spent quite some time already. It feels like I'm watching my own point of view, but it is what it is. It's obviously very, very difficult to play against someone that is higher rated. It's almost inevitable to be down on time. King g7, as if nothing is going on, we just play king g7, just like that. Nothing is going on, king g7 is perfectly fine. On a serious note, I think Hikaru is trying to avoid queen e6 check. And yeah, why not? There's no check whatsoever here with the king on g7. And if there's any like queen h5 move, you just play rook h8 and there are no checks whatsoever. So now white played rook a d1, trying to develop the rook and maybe bring it into the attack like this. Black takes on d4 and white ignores the pawn and instead plays knight d5 because obviously white wants to open up the position to have some sort of chances to checkmate this king. But Hikaru plays this very well, plays knight e5, attacking the queen over here, and it's really hard for white to do anything here because you don't want to sacrifice more pieces. That's not gonna bring you anywhere. Well, He does it. He does it. I'm not complaining here. I'm really happy to see it, but I don't think it's enough. It's too much. White is down a full rook here, and it looks like Hikaru will easily convert this game. Don't think there's much happening here. However, queen h5 looks a bit scary. But now with f3, okay, I guess you cannot move the queen. First of all, there was queen takes g2 checkmate. Second of all, with the pawn f3, there's always f2 check, and that's terrifying. Okay, I think Hikaru will convert this very easily. Let's have a look at some other games. I see that Jeffrey Jean is playing against Ramil Hassan Gatin. Let's have a look. I see that white is up a pawn, has a pair of bishops, but they're not so active. This knight is very strong on d3, but it can be taken by this bishop. The question is, does white want to take that? Oh, there we go. There we go. Overlay issue? Is there anything wrong with the overlay? I think it's fine, right? I think everything is fine. But let me know if there's any problem with the overlay. I set it up a little bit of an hour ago or so. Okay. All good. Yeah, I set it up from scratch, so there might be some tiny issues, but so far so good. Thanks, guys. Thank you. All right, let's have a look. Bishop d4 has been played. So if you take on d3, it looks like it's a free pawn, right? But you'll face bishop takes e3 check, and you'll lose the piece. So that's why bishop d4 was played. Very tricky, but obviously white saw this idea and decided to trade the bishops. Now, the question is how to get rid of this pawn on d3. Because if you, for example, play a move like rook b3, you'll just face rook c2 check. So now, Ramil decided to play rook c1, offering the trade, but it drops a pawn b4. At the same time, this pawn becomes really strong on c6. It's a really complicated position. Both players have pawns that are really far advanced. I have to admit that this pawn looks much scarier than this pawn, but at the same time, this king is a little bit vulnerable over here. King c3 has been played, rook b8. Ooh. Where do you go now with the rook? Do you play rook c8 and then after king d2, I guess you have king d4, or king f3? He goes for the other pawns and they're all hanging. Is this a comeback for Jeffrey Zhang? He's just picking up all of those pawns. And now you have another passer over here. And this one looks actually really scary. Because if white decides to go to d7 or through e5, black can just sacrifice the rook for the pawn. And this pawn will also promote. And it might not be so easy here. Okay. White plays here h6, which seems very clever. I'm not sure the calculations, if my calculations are correct, but yeah, okay, now it's very simple. This pawn is also very far advanced. I was thinking this king would be able to pick up the pawn on h7, but okay, this seems like a win for Jeffrey Zhang. What a nice comeback. It goes to show how complicated rook endgames are. Like, white was up 1 or 2 pawns at one point, and Jeffrey was just able to come back from that, and king f3 was a beautiful move by Jeffrey. Should not underestimate rook endgames. Yeah, we've all been there probably. Okay. Let's see, who else do we have here? We have Howitzer against stronger 1799. Well, I can tell you that he's definitely stronger than 1799. Is he gonna win this game? It all looks like it with a threat of, well, checkmate, and there goes the king. And that is checkmate on the next move. I am expecting a resignation. Timeout, okay. Okay. GG. Let's see. You in every rook endgame you play? I think we all need to learn from Justin then. That's very, very impressive. Okay, let's see who is playing. Okay, we have a couple of games left over here. Ooh. Oh, you love to see this. What's gonna happen here, guys? We have a knight on the board. That can mean anything. 96? Okay, there's rook f1 check and... No way! No! No, black flagged! No! No! Black flagged in a completely winning position. Rook f1 was on the board, dropping the rook and just completely lost. I'm telling you, 1 second increment, not enough. Oh my god, that's terrifying. Terrifying, absolutely terrifying. The rook was way too far across the board. Maybe black should, like, make the board smaller, you know? I know how it feels like. For puzzles, I make my board smaller so I don't have to go across the entire board to drag, you know, all my pieces. Okay. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Okay. Round 3 has started. So far, Hikaru is on 2 out of 2, and we have a bunch of players also on 2 out of 2. So doesn't seem like we have some crazy surprises so far. Let's see what Hikaru is doing. Hikaru is playing the Reiti opening. Very interesting. Are you gonna get to... We can still switch to modern defense. Would be very, very creative, but it's possible. It's a very different setup, but could happen. Okay. Oh, black plays e5. That's very interesting. That's very unusual. It looked like black was sacrificing the pawn, but by playing knight f to d7, they stopped this pawn from moving. Because if you take on d6, you obviously lose a bishop and probably even more. So that's why white wasn't able to do anything about this pawn. You cannot defend it really. I mean, if you play queen d5, I don't think that's the right move. I don't think that's the right move. I think you can actually just take. But in any case, you do not want to move your queen out so quickly. That's like, you know, a rule in chess. You don't want to do that. Unless you play the Scandinavian, you're signing up for it, but... Okay, let's see. 96 castles. Okay, 96, queen c2, f5, c5, e4, bishop c4. Pinning the knight. You can take there, but you will probably just lose a pawn there. So I'm guessing, yeah, black's pieces are a little bit uncomfortable over here, but I guess you can easily solve it with like knight f6 or something. But I like white's position much more. I feel like white is much more active. Okay, so this drops... Oh, okay, Hikaru doesn't take it. I guess it makes sense that white is not taking this pawn simply because, well, the king will be open, doubled pawns, and black is able to come back from that really quickly, because if you take the knight e5 and like all the pieces become very active, which is why rook d1 was played. Okay. By the way, I have to note, Hikaru is on 2 minutes and 37 seconds. I think that's very impressive. I should take notes. I should take notes of his time management. I'm actually amazed. He's playing against, you know, one of the blessed players as well, and he's up on time by a minute. It's as if it's nothing for him, you know? It's like, it's almost like he solved chess. That's how fast he's playing. Okay, queen h6 is threatening queen h3, queen g2 checkmate. So you gotta be careful for that. But obviously queen h3 is followed by knight f4. So that's not a big deal, but it's something you gotta keep in mind. For example, if black decides to sacrifice there, then it will be a big issue. Okay, now Hikaru is taking his time. And that's why it's so nice to be able to spend your time. You spend your time in moments where it's needed, you know? Instead of like the beginning when nothing is really decided yet. If your opening prep is really good, you'll have an easier time later on. So rook d2, g5. Looks like rook d2. That's not something Engine is happy about. I'm honestly surprised, but is there maybe some knight g4 move? Threatening to take on h2. There's also f4 pushes. There's a lot going on here. But I think black should be concerned about losing this pawn, because if black loses this pawn, the attack will, I wouldn't say lost, but it will be very, very small. Okay. Now black is taking his time. What is he gonna do? There's so many nice moves in the position. You can also play g4, but I don't think that's what black wants to do, because it always allows knight f4, and the knight has an amazing spot right there. Black decides to play rook cd8, putting pressure on the knight. As I said, he wants to get rid of this knight so he can play queen h3, queen g2. Hikaru takes on e5, bishop takes e5, attacking the rook on a1, so that's why rook b1 was played. Now he decides to play g4, protecting the pawn on f3. Is he gonna move the knight? He's gonna move the knight. He has 1 minute and 30 seconds on the clock. He's plenty of time. h4! h4 is an amazing move, because the logical, well, what we all like to do is en passant, right? But in this situation, if you do en passant, the pawn will be blocking your own attack. And also, you will lose this pawn, really important pawn. So, that's why black did not do en passant. I'm sorry, guys. I know you guys are big fans of en passants, but sometimes you just can't do it. Yeah. En passant is forced. Maybe we'll see that update in chess too, guys. Maybe, who knows? Okay, both players are putting their rooks on d1. There's not much going on here. This rook is well defended. Well, now you probably need to trade or defend it. Black defends it. But black is in huge time trouble. 7 seconds left on the clock. It's not a lot. You can just flag any moment with this time control. Even though you feel like you won't, there's a big chance you will. Okay. We're now in an endgame. That's interesting. So, usually the bishop and rook are supposed to be a good team compared to knight and rook. But as you can see, this knight is so much stronger. This bishop, where does it go to? I guess if you manage to put the bishop there, it's really nice, but which pieces are you attacking then? You cannot attack any of these pawns. The other pawns are on light squares. Well, the c5 one didn't count because now it's on c6. But this bishop is not able to attack any pawn. There's a pawn dropping right here, and black decides to sacrifice there, but it's not enough, as Hikaru is gonna promote one of his pawns very soon. He could play c7. Okay, this is also another way of winning. Rook d8, and that is some neat conversion there by Hikaru. It seemed like black had great chances there, but it was too complicated. He tried his best, but the move h4 kind of decided the game. I guess we can conclude that from this. Let's have a look at who's still playing. Let's have a look at some different games. Let's see who's playing. I'm scrolling through the tab. Oh, there's so many games going on. Okay, let's go to another game. I just pressed one game. Well, we'll see what's gonna happen. Oh, well, wait. What? I think we joined in the perfect moment. This guy promoted all of his 3 pawns to queen, and then it was enough for black. Well, you don't see that every single day, I guess. I think, like, as we joined in, like, it all seemed normal. This was a position, all seemed normal, and then poof. Black decided to go for rook h5 and just call it a day. Oh, can I remind them? Yeah, so rook h5 was played for whatever reason, g7, and the king went on some adventure, and, well, the adventure didn't last long. It was made in 1, but I'm sure White would have done that. Alright, let's see who's still playing. We have... Okay, this one. Oh, White. Okay, I thought black lost on time, but it's white. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to refresh. Okay, this game is still going on. Let's have a look. Opposite color bishops. That's usually a draw, but I've seen crazier things happen, so... Yeah, that was allowing f3, g4 maybe? Tiny chance there. I honestly wouldn't... Okay, so white gave up the pawn to take this pawn, and now... I wouldn't be so sure. I wouldn't be so sure. These two pawns can be really dangerous. Oh, that is... Okay. Yeah, this is a draw. This is obviously a draw. I was still seeing some chances here for white, but f5 made it clear that it's a draw. I guess it's also just really hard to push that pawn whatsoever. Maybe you can just walk around, you know, but I guess it makes sense. Let's see. There's still some games going on. Oh, we have 2 more games left. We have, Oh, whoa. Oh. We just... Okay. We missed a 50 move draw. We missed a 50 move draw. That's quite impressive. Okay, I guess black doesn't want to move the pawn whatsoever to claim the 50 move draw. But, okay, that's interesting. Alright. Round 3 is over now, so we move on to round 4. We have a lot of players still with 100%. My prediction, well, I didn't say it was my prediction, but I would like to predict, I would like to hope that someone is gonna finish with 100% score. So far, we're, you know, we're getting there. Yeah, exactly, Olympia. Yeah, it's quite rare that you get a 50 move rule with pawns still on the board that are actually able to move, you know? Because usually we see a 50 move draw happen because there are no pawns on the board and the rook is just going back and forth, etc. But it is quite rare. It is quite rare. I guess it also has to do with, you know, if you have pawns on the board, you still have like some sort of chances. Maybe they're very slim, you know, they're barely there, but in 3+1, you never know. I guess if the time control was 3+0, I would have seen e5. You would have seen e5 probably, but 3+1, it's on the edge. Okay, let's see. So here it wasn't Alekhine defense that switched to Philidor actually. Okay. I'm seeing some similar structures, you know, in Hikaru's games. So this is Hikaru against Bortnik. Both very, very strong blitz players. Absolute stars. Let's see how the game is going to continue. Rook c8, kind of preparing some attack on the c file, on the bishop. So that's why Hikaru plays knight e2 to defend that bishop. So obviously Hikaru is fighting for the square on d5. Looks like a really nice square for the knight. Okay, well, Hikaru decides to take that knight. And it makes a lot of sense because this bishop is not so strong. So this is a good lesson to learn that, you know, we are always taught that the bishop pair is so strong. And you always want to have the pair of bishops. But sometimes it is a positional advantage to take the knight with your bishop. Because this bishop is not so great. You'd rather have like this knight, for example, you know? And imagine if this trade is ever gonna happen. Probably will not happen because the pawn is hanging, but okay, imagine this is gonna happen without the pawn dropping. Then you'll see that this bishop is a tiny bit better than this bishop. And it's almost only because of this wall of pawns. So that's the reasoning behind the trade on f6. Okay, Hikaru decides to play knight e3. He can obviously go to f5. So I'm assuming we will see g6 here. g6 is also a typical move if you want to put the bishop there and prepare a move like f5. Bortnik goes for bishop g5 instead. I like that move. It's very active, much more active than something like g6. Rook fd1 has been played. I'm honestly a bit worried about something like knight f4 or even knight e4. And now Bortnik takes this knight, and once again, it's almost the reason I think is simply because his bishop wasn't so great. He didn't like the bishop so much, and also this the double pawns over here, they can be really strong because it prevents the knight from entering in the center, but we still have the c5 square. So this game is indeed very positional, yeah. And we love positional games because we always see like tactics and, you know, tactical positions are very fun, but positional games are the ones that we all should learn from because they will teach you a lot of things about chess. Some secrets, you know, about chess. Knight c4 has been played, and now the pawn is in trouble on d6. How does Bortnik defend this? If you play d5, obviously the pawn on e5 drops, so perhaps you should go for it and try to make the best out of this, because after knight takes e5, at least you can take there. Can you? I don't think you can, actually. The queen takes d8 was threatening, and then you can take the bishop, probably. So queen g5 has been played. Very active. Just sacrifice the pawn on d6. And now, as you can see, I don't like this bishop, you know? If the pawn was gone, it would have been a different story. But with the bishop on c6, looking at the pawn on e4 that is very well defended, it is a bit hard to make the best out of this bishop. But I have to admit that this knight isn't so great either. Even though it's on d6, it's on a really nice square, it can be kicked out really easily, and it doesn't have a pawn supporting. So that makes it a bit more vulnerable. Hikaru decides to play queen c3, attacking the bishop. Whoa! Bortnik plays rook f3? Excuse me? Sacrificing the bishop? Okay. I see a lot of pawns hanging, but I can't find it. I can't find, like, you know, some decent continuation. I mean, I guess you want to take on e3 and play rook f2 and keep the tension, keep the attack going, but I would be a little bit worried about being a piece down. Hikaru is also, both players are below 20 seconds now. Game is on, guys. Rook d3 has been played. Hikaru did not take that bishop. He did not trust the line. Queen d2 has been played to protect the pawn on g2. This is going to be really exciting, guys. h5, rook f1, and Bortnik decides to take that knight on d6. So Bortnik is down in exchange now, but he has an amazing attack going on. Is he going to be able to make the attack successful? Queen g3 threatening queen h2. Hikaru plays queen d8, also threatening rook h8. It's getting really dangerous now. The king is running away. After queen h1, you have king e2. So Bortnik takes on e3 and has the move queen h1, checkmate in the position. Hikaru is... Oh, queen takes g7. Rook takes h5, winning the queen. Yes, there we go. There you go. Tactics. And Hikaru has won the queen, and that's game over for Bortnik. Wow, that ending was absolutely amazing. There were so many things going on, and Bortnik tried his best so much to make the attack successful, but sadly, if there was no rook takes h5, it would have been problematic for Hikaru. But I think rook takes h5 was the key move here. Very well done by both players. That was really exciting. That was really exciting to watch. Yeah, Bortnik made it really exciting for sure. I think it's safe to say that, yeah, he really tried to make it complicated, and he did, but it was not enough. Let's see what's happening here. It's Shield playing against Capillo. And we're in a queen endgame, and black is up 2 pawns, but has a little bit of trouble surviving all of those checks. And now there's also a bunch of pawns hanging, and there's always queen g8 check in the position, so it's not the most comfortable position. But with some checks, black is able to snatch a pawn on d4, and suddenly this passer is going to be very dangerous. And there's also not gonna be any sort of perpetual here for white. You can try to play queen d8, queen b6, but I think it's really easy to defend for black. So, e3, queen d6. Okay, so now d2, and I think this king is able to run away, avoid all the checks. It should be a win for black here. What a neat conversion here from black. It looked a little bit, you know, I have a feeling white got a bit too optimistic, trying to capture all of those pawns here on the king side, but it was not enough, and now it's game over. Well played. Let's have a look. Okay, there's still 2 games going on. Let's have a look. Okay, we have rook and knight and pawn versus rook. This should be a win for black, obviously, but black is really low on time. Both players are really low on time. I'm just worried for a flag, guys. I have seen it all, you know? I've seen it all by now. What? No way. They repeated the position 3 times already. I kind of missed it. I think I wasn't here. I wasn't here in time for the repetition, but I think they repeated the position a few times. Okay, so yeah, that's actually crazy. Yeah, over the board you will not notice this at all, but in online chess this is very easy to address, and the computer will obviously notice it was a 3 times the same position. So yeah, white managed to make it a draw, and yeah, I guess sometimes it's just hard to you know, push this pawn because the rook is defending it, and once the king comes closer, the rook will give you a check and you have to leave. I guess that's why it was so hard to push that pawn, but I guess this was a way to push that pawn was king f4, king e5, and knight e6. And then you can safely play e3. But it requires a lot of technique. Alright guys, we're gonna go to a short break because it has been 4 rounds now. We're 4 rounds in. We see that we still have a lot of players on 4 out of 4. I'm really excited for the upcoming games, guys. I'm still looking forward to see 11 out of 11. Let's go to a quick break, everybody. Stay where you are, get some drink maybe, and we'll be back very soon with round 5 of Title Tuesday. Be right back! right, everyone, we are back with Title Tuesday. We are moving on to round 5, and we have some amazing pairings already. We have Min playing against Hikaru. I'm looking forward to an exciting game over here as well. We all know Min; he's very, very strong player. He adopted me. I say this very proudly, but it was a wonderful match playing against him, you know. So really looking forward to see what he's gonna play against Hikaru. Let's have a look. He's playing the London. No way, he's playing the London. Let's see if that pays off against Hikaru. Not much to say other than I don't like the London, but I'm sure Min is gonna make good use of the opening. So far it looks very good. He has made Hikaru spend more time than ever compared to the last few games. Usually it was Hikaru with 2.5 minutes left after move 20, but now Min is the one up on time here, playing his moves really quickly, so it's really good. So this move is very interesting. A6, preparing b5, I'm assuming. Very interesting setup. Knight e2, probably planning to play knight f4 very soon. Okay, there's a trade happening on c4. I'm guessing Hikaru is trying to reroute some of the pieces. Maybe tries to push c5 even, which is why Min plays queen b4. Queen e7 is on the board. Also trying to push c5 there. Knight f4, very logical move. Are we gonna see c5 now? I guess it's a possible move right here. Maybe you could even play a5 to attack the queen, but I think I prefer c5 in this position. This pawn is like, if you don't manage to push the pawn, it will be a weakness forever, because this pawn is blocking the only square that can move to, obviously. And it can become a really weak square, and there we go, there we have c5. Because imagine if it's never possible to push c5, the knights disappear somehow, and this knight ends up on c5, black will have a huge problem, which is why you want to resolve that by playing c5 as soon as possible. So Hikaru does that, and now the question is, do you want to take, or do you move the queen? I was gonna say taking looks very logical, but Min goes for queen e1 instead. He's probably gonna focus on moving the pawn to e4 and controlling the center. I do like the pawn on c4, but now Min is facing it with b3. And there we go, e5, wow. Is that allowing t takes e5? Okay, takes on c4. Now this pawn is a little bit vulnerable, I would say. It's not the most comfortable pawn. I would be slightly worried after a move like queen b4. The pawn will be under pressure. This pawn is also a little bit under pressure, because if you play queen b4 and knight b6, then this pawn will just simply drop. So obviously we can expect like an intermediate move there, but still, after pawn takes, knight b6, I would prefer white there. Knight c6 could be really scary. Like, this bishop becomes alive in that position. The pieces will be in harmony of white, and black's knights are a little bit shaky over there. Not very ideal. So black decides to take here. I'm assuming knight takes d4 will happen. Okay, rook takes d4 instead. Okay. Very interesting. Putting more pressure on that pawn, so it makes sense. Knight b6. Does Min want to play knight d2 here to put pressure on that pawn like that? Yeah, there we go. Okay. How do you defend that pawn now? You can try playing a5. But eventually you'll have to give up on the pawn. So now, after knight fd7, if you take on c4, are you maybe facing some knight e5 and the knight is pinned? Because it can move, because the rook will be hanging over here. Rook takes c1. So, ugh. Both players are around 1 minute on the clock. Not a drastic time difference here. We'd love to see that. We love balanced games, you know. 94. Threatening 96. I like it. He's ignoring this pawn and goes for the attack right away. And after rook c7, I'm guessing you still have like knight d6 and just a fantastic position. Knight goes to f5, threatening 97. If the queen or the rook goes to g4, you will threaten to take on g7. So this could be very interesting here. So after rook b8, now the queen is in a slight danger there, which is why Min plays queen a5. Also threatening knight b5, by the way. Oh, my bad, it's not. There's no knight b5 because the rook is defending the queen. I'm sorry, I missed that. But it looked very interesting. If there was a rook on the a file, it would have been possible. But with the queen, that's not gonna happen. So instead, knight f5, as I said before, rook g4. At least some of my plans are, you know, being used in the game. I'm really happy to see that. But also, there's queen e5 in the position. You gotta be careful for that move. For now, the knight is defending the pawn over there, so it's all good. And yeah, what do you do about knight takes h6? I guess king h7 will be a solid move. But maybe you should be scared of a sacrifice there? Maybe that is in the position. This is looking very promising here for white. What is Hikaru gonna do here? h5, wow. That's a really impressive move. That's not a move you want to make, but a move you should make. So now he's able to take this pawn over here, but he sacrifices the knight for this amazing attack. King is on e7, but it's really hard to see what white can actually do here. King on e8. Is there rook g8 check? I think there was rook g8 check, but instead he plays rook d1, so the king will not be able to move to d8. Rook g8 again. There we go, knight f8, and is there queen e4? No, there was rook e7, I think. Okay, knight to d7. Oh, this is getting really, really intense, guys. Is Min gonna be able to pull off a victory here? This is not looking comfortable here for black. Rook e4. Sacrificing the rook there. He's still in exchange down, but he has so many pawns. Queen f4 with a beautiful move, pinning the rook. So the rook will not be able to trade, which is obviously what black wants. There's so many things happening. Both players are around 10 seconds on the clock. Are we gonna see repetition? a4 has been played. It's not been taken. Wow, I don't know what's happening. Is Min gonna go for the repetition? He has the decision. He has 5 seconds left. Queen e4, repetition? And we see repetition. Oh, that's so anticlimactic. I would have loved to see a victory here, but the game ended in the draw. It was very, very intense. I think he had the chance here, but it's very easy to see from the side, and obviously with the evil bar on. Because if we look at the position, we have a passer here. These pawns are not that strong, so I can fully imagine why Min went for the draw instead. Really nice result. Both players played really, really well once again. Yeah, it was a draw all along. You know, you played the London, you asked for the draw. Okay, let's see. Let's have a look at... We don't have so many games left. I thought for a second my niece was playing, but no. Okay, let's move on to a different game. But white did win. Okay, let's see. Rook versus bishop and 2 pawns. Oh, repetition, okay. Yeah, I guess you cannot do anything here, either side. Like, you cannot push this pawn because it's pinned, and this rook is not able to do anything because this one will push if you go crazy. So, I guess draw is a fair result there. Let's see. This game, whoa. Okay, opposite color bishops. Pawn is going that way. So you're actually never able to push that pawn, but never say never. Nah, this is absolutely drawn. This is as drawn as it can get. Too soon! I spoke too soon! I spoke too soon! I started to get worried after King E3. I was like, wait, you would not be able to defend the bishop anymore like that. And then poof, it was gone. And there goes the rook, and that's GG. Wow. I guess 2700 rated players also make blunders, guys. It's unbelievable, but it is real. It's actually real, guys. And that concludes round 5. And we move on to round 6. Wow. So we still have, let me see, 6 players on 100%, making my prediction come true, hopefully. Nice script, thank you. Let's have a look. All right, we have Mishanik against Bogdan Diak. I probably butchered the names really badly, but usernames are a bit tougher to pronounce most of the times. Whoa, this is probably some theory, no? Okay. It is called the anti-Moscow Gambit. Never heard of it, but I guess we're witnessing right now. Both players are playing instantly. Wait, is that Queen takes G2? Is this still in the theory books? I don't think so, because black is spending time. Knight h5, okay. Yeah, knight h5 is threatening to take on g3, and then the whole king side will be weak. And this king has nowhere else to go. Why, black's king here is super, like, solid, Bishop e7, and you're fine. Short castle. That's what I missed. That's what I forgot about. It's so hard when the game has been going on for a while, and suddenly there's, like, short castle. Like, it's something you never expect, because you're already like almost 20 moves in the game. You do not expect the short castle to be even possible, but it was possible, and g2 is now defended, but you can still take on g3. There you go. It does drop this pawn, but it's super complicated. I'm not sure what's happening here, because there's a check over here, but the king will just escape there. I'm also a bit worried about the pawn on b5. Maybe you can push b4 even? That'll be interesting. Because where does the knight go? But if you play b4, bishop takes c4, b takes c3, bishop b5. It's not losing, but I would be concerned. I would be concerned about this piece. Yeah. And the king. The king over there. So it seems like, I mean, either white is completely bluffing, or they are in their prep, because they have barely spent time, whereas black is down to 1 minute and 30 seconds almost. It's a bit concerning. The time difference is gonna hurt at some point, sooner or later. Yeah, I also would say that this king side is ruined, but king h2, and it's actually like a wall over here. Like, how do you attack this king? How do you do it? It's not so clear. It's a bit hard to bring this queen in the attack now that the pawn is gone over here. I guess you can play queen e4, but I would be a little bit concerned about knight c7, with or without moving the queen, because if you move the queen to e4, knight c7, queen d8, I would get really scared. Okay. Black is still spending their time. We're waiting for a genius continuation. Are we gonna see short castle maybe? I mean, king f8 would also be fine. It's not like you can get checked there, but I wouldn't know what's better, king f8 or short castle. Maybe they're equally bad, but okay, short castle has been played. Okay. I guess it makes sense. Like, if everything goes wrong, you have knight g6. It's not the best defense, but it's holding it, together. Rook f4, okay, the queen is very active now, but can you make use of that? Queen e3 has been played. Okay. Maybe you have some knight g6, knight takes h4 ideas. That could be really interesting. But for now, this queen is defending g1 super, super well. So, okay, h5 has been played. Rook e4 looks like it is dropping a piece there, but knight f3 check. Boom! And if you take queen f2, g takes f3, and that is really close to checkmate. Also, you have queen takes g3, and you can take all of those pawns. So, knight f3 is a really nice move. I love it. And now white is suddenly in trouble. What do? If you play king h1, I guess you're gonna face queen f2, and I guess white can still try to defend it, but oh yeah, knight takes h4 is terrible. Terrifying. Knight e2, knight takes h4, and you cannot take it because of checkmate, queen h4. So, how do you defend here? If you take... I'm thinking whether... Yeah, I guess you want to take on g3 anyway to threaten queen h3, checkmate. Yeah. Now white really needs to spend their time. I guess it's nice they have, you know, saved a lot of time there, but it is really hard to find a defense here. I honestly don't see a defense. I just see queen takes g3, queen takes h4, checkmate, you know? And if anything else happens, maybe knight takes h4, like... Oh... Like, I'm thinking of moves like rook takes g4, like, it's kind of desperate, and that's not what you want to deal with, but... I think he's almost forced to take there. I don't see another defense. You kind of have to go all in here at this point, I think. What also helps, if you sacrifice the rook, you're still threatening to take the knight, so maybe it's worth looking into. Okay, he took on f3. Queen takes g3 has been played. Rook e2, trying to defend. Can you take on f3? Oh, okay, he takes with the queen. I was thinking maybe pawn takes. Wait, did she just? Oh, okay, it's a trade. I thought it was a queen blunder. This is going way too fast. Wait a second. Why was it? Okay, wait. Okay. Oh, I didn't expect black to take that. Okay. Okay, I think we're heading into a draw then. Yeah, I think this is drawn. Black is just gonna lose these pawns against the bishop, most likely. I do not see white messing this up. I don't think white's gonna mess this up, but I've seen crazier things. Okay. I mean, I guess, black is down on time, but I think it's... I would say it's really hard to flag here. I don't think black is gonna flag, no? Please don't flag. Please. Oh, please play faster. We're scared. We're scared for you. Clock's intuition is so intimidating. Like, honestly, just put the rook somewhere and just go back and forward, like... Oh, man. He's making it really scary. Like, you would say that black is the one trying to win, you know? But the time situation makes me feel like white is trying to win here. Even though there's literally nothing in the position. Literally nothing. Oh. Oh. King is going to d8 or d6. I was gonna say d6, but going to d8 even. Okay. Check. King g7. He's gonna play rook 8. Oh my god, he's gonna play rook 8. He didn't want to go back because then the king goes back, obviously. So, oh. I mean, it's defendable, but... Oh man, this is so strange. Ooh, check. Okay. Okay, finally, we see a pawn push. Were we close to a 50 move draw? Wait. Is there some... No, wait, you cannot move that. King f6? King f6? Is that winning? King d6. Maybe king f6 was winning. Yeah, I thought the king was gone and there was some bishop. I don't know. I froze. My brain froze there. Okay. I think there was king. No, there was no king f4. Wow. It's so hard, those positions with the rook and bishop, you know? There are some checkmate patterns, but it's so hard to spot them. What? What? Oh my god. No. I mean, it's lost in this position, I guess, but it's not that clear. It's actually so, like, I was so scared for this to happen. He had 2 pawns, nothing was going on, and this is what happens in 3+1, guys. This is what happens in 3+1. The most crazy things happen, and well, sadly, Black lost on time. I would have been more sad if it happened right here. If here the flag would have happened, I would have been more sad. But now it's like, well, he messed up. It's a lost position, so we move on. Let's see. Hikaru is playing against. Oh, we are already. Oh my goodness, we missed an entire round. We are in round 7 already. Okay, so seems like Hikaru won his last game. He's on. Oh, let me fix the layout real quick because you're seeing 0.5 instead of 5.5. So let me adjust that real quick, everyone. Oh. Let me adjust it real quick for you guys so you can all see the score with their tie breaks. Yep, there you go. Okay, fixed it. Amazing, beautiful. Yeah, so let's have a look. Whoa. Okay. So I think Hikaru is going again for the Reiti opening. Interesting, okay. Whenever I try the Reiti opening, I get a terrible position, so maybe I should take notes. Okay, Queen C2. Do you want to play Bishop C4 at some point? Or do you just want to play solid? I'm kind of expecting him to play Bishop E2. Seeing how he's been playing today, I am expecting a Bishop E2, honestly. But yeah, for now it's Black to move. Not sure why Black is spending so much time. Queen B8. Okay. That's a bit surprising, but okay. I guess it's you know, they call it, with the king they call it a prophylactical move. Is it also considered prophylactical move? I guess so. I guess so. Short castle, short castle. Okay. Now you kind of wanna, like, you might think why not just play e4, but I think White does not want to do that because it allows, like, knight d4 at some point. You will allow this square to be occupied by an opponent's piece, and also f4 will be available for the opponent. So that's why you don't want to play e4 in this position, I would say. And at the same time, if Black pushes e4, the d4 square will be available to the knight. And even though it looks like this pawn is great on e4, taking a lot of space, it's really weakening this pawn on e4 and weakening all the squares around it. So that's why you want to be careful with your pawns. If you push pawns, you cannot push them back. And that's something we all need to learn. I'm very guilty of this, you know, that I push my pawn and I regret it because, you know, it can go back. You know, you have, if you play a knight to c4, for example, and it's like, okay, I regret this move, it's a terrible move, you can go back. And maybe you lose a tempo like that, but at least you're not gonna lose the position because of it. So, yeah. Anyways, knight c4 has been played. There is a lot of pressure on the pawn on e5. It's, I guess you can say it's hanging right now, because if it's white to move, you'll just take that rook and then take the pawn. So that's why the rook was moved to b5. Ugh. It's not an ideal place for the rook, you know. Rooks belong on open files. This one is completely closed. But I have to say, there's not a single piece that can attack this rook. So if you play a4, you'll just lose the pawn. So, okay. e4 has been played after all, allowing knight d4, but it does create some space for the rook. So maybe Black will have an attack on the king over there. Welcome, Vlad. Hello, everyone that is just tuning in. Hope you are having a great time. Um, we're right now in, I believe, round 7. Yeah, round 7. After round 8, we will have another break, by the way. Um, so yeah, 2 more rounds till the break. Okay, the knight left went to d2 and rook h5. There it is. There it is. I'm back on my prediction game, guys. h3 has been played to obviously prevent taking on h2. And how do you continue here with black? The time situation is more or less equal, but Hikaru is up on time, like 30 seconds. You can say it's a lot in this time control. 30 seconds is quite a lot. Yeah. Yeah, I was also hoping for some knight g4. It looks like a great move. Actually, it's... Okay, I guess after knight g4, there's knight f1. It looks like a really nice move, but if he can defend it so easily, I guess it's not worth it. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What is happening? What did I just miss? b5, bishop takes, taking there. What? Oh, so the knight was hanging on c6, which is why this one was taken, because white is also gonna lose that knight. Rook h4. Oh, nice intermediate move. Okay, it's not really helping, but it is provoking f4. Weakening the pawn at e3, so that's why black is trying to put pressure on that one. Black plays g6, which makes a lot of sense because the king also needs some space, but I'm a bit worried about this rook. Okay, now the rook can probably go back to h5 unless g4 is being played. Yeah. I was still figuring out which move would be the best to stop rook h5, but I guess this is the best. Rook d2, queen a4, and white has an amazing position here. All the pieces are centralized. The king is nowhere near in danger, but the rook becomes free. The rook escapes almost, but there's no way to attack this rook now. I mean, you can go around with the knight, but the rook can hide somewhere. Maybe not in the most ideal place, but it's somewhere. Okay. Okay, black is really low on time, by the way. Only 3 seconds left. Hikaru still has quite some time on his clock. Ooh, queen takes f7, and that's GG. Oh, it's those tiny things, you know? You're low on time, and these kind of blunders are just bound to happen. There's not much you can do about that. Black plays really, really well. That was a really nice defense, but the rook did not manage to get out of there. Yeah, that was a nice try. Well done, Hikaru. Let's have a look. Who is still playing? I want to look at... Do we have some streamers playing, guys? I want to look at a streamer. There's so many games going on, guys. I can't find anybody. I can't find anybody. Let's look at... Oh, I had a name, but now I lost the name. Okay, let's just have a look at this game. Let's have a look. I just pressed a random game. Okay, this looks like it's completely lost. This pawn is just promoting, and black is not on time. Okay, next. I'm trying to look for different games. Okay, yeah. Oh, I was gonna go to this game and it switched again. It disappeared. Okay, here we go. Okay. Rook versus queen. All right. Okay, if I have been informed correctly, we are now on chess. Hello everyone. I hope you guys can hear me loud and clear. I hope you guys are doing amazing. We are in Title Tuesday. I am today's host of Title Tuesday. My name is Anna-Maja Kazarian, and I hope you guys are excited as I am, because I really am. It's been a great tournament so far. We are 7 rounds in the tournament, and we've seen already some great upsets. We've already seen some great upsets. So yeah, 4 more rounds left after this one. So you better get ready for some amazing games. And whoa, actually, Black was able to convert this game. I completely missed it, but it looks like white completely collapsed there. Okay, let's see. Okay, this game ended as well. All right, this game ended as well. We were watching that game. No, we're not. We're not watching that game. Okay, here we have another game going on. There was a mate in one threat, so Queen B3 was played. Okay, what is going on here? So, material-wise, it's equal, but the position is so complicated. We have a passer here. Is Black able to promote that? Looks like it. But, ooh, we are dealing here with one bishop with one pawn. Is that enough for the win? If you can take these pawns, it's winning. But you have to take the pawns. Bishop e8 is a really nice move because at the same time you are stopping the pawn from moving all the way to f7 and also defending the pawn on h5. So that's really clever. King g4, trying to take that pawn, and oh, bishop a4, really smart. Whatever happens, if you push f7, you'll face bishop b3 check, and okay, the players are moving on really fast, but this is GG, and white resigned. That was a neat conversion, really well done. That was really awesome. Okay, let's see who's also playing. I think a lot of games have been finished. Let's see who's still playing. Oh, okay, we're moving on to round 8. We're moving on to round 8, which is the last round before the second break. Let's tune into Hikaru's game against Mishanik, and we're seeing the Sicilian, Baran Alapin. Let's have a look how it continues. Okay, so white has a really nice center. It's really easy for white to develop, but this bishop is a bit strange on c2. It's a really nice maneuver to put the bishop on c2, but with whoa, wait, what? 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 Okay, so what? I'm not sure what's happening here. Knight takes f2. Huh? Wait, what? I guess black took 2 pawns for the knight and has a really nice development, but I don't see the continuation of this. I can't see it. So the bishop can give a check, but okay, I was gonna say maybe this is some prep of black, but now that they're spending their time in this position, I'm a bit concerned. I'm really amazed to see that Engine likes this position so much, because looking at this position, I'm completely lost. But I guess maybe there was queen b6 check. Okay, so he took on c1. Queen h4 has been played. It is allowing, well, do you want to take on h3 as well? I guess you're threatening queen g3, bishop takes h3, but after queen g3, there is queen f4, offering the trade. Maybe you want to prepare that with bishop e5. But okay, it's white to move here. Okay, white plays queen d2. You want to play bishop e5? To prepare queen g3, obviously. I guess that would make sense. Okay, e3 instead. Because white can't take. If you take here, then bishop d4 and you lose the queen. Queen e2 has been played, holding on to the pawn on b2 as well, because if the bishop can take it, your rook also will be lost. Queen e2. How does black follow this up? Maybe bishop e5 after all, but after bishop e5, now there's knight f3. With the pawn on e3, it's possible to move the knight to f3. It's like such an open position, so many options here for black, but none of them really like are so satisfying. They're not really like helping you to, win, have a nice attack on the king. Like, this move like bishop takes h3 looks really nice, right? But it's so easy for white to defend. Also, we have to note that black is already behind on material. They sacrificed a knight for 2 pawns. So you cannot afford to sacrifice more unless you have a clear attack going on. And this is not so clear. So, Rook e8, defending that pawn on e3. I guess the pawn on e3 is really strong. Like, it's really hard to play around it. Because once you play knight f3, there's always queen g3, and then the pawn h3 is hanging. There's a lot of complications there. So I guess that's why black has like a decent position here. It's also nice to know that both players are around the same time on the clock, so no crazy time differences here. Knight b5 has been played, attacking the pawns on a7 and d6. I guess, well, I really want to play bishop e5, but I can't. It's not so good anymore. Queen g3 has been played, and now bishop e5 would be amazing because you will threaten checkmate. And also you're threatening bishop takes h3, so you would say king h1 is a logical approach to this, but what do you do after bishop e5? I guess you'll save things with bishop, knight f3, but it's getting a little bit iffy. Not so comfortable. Maybe now you can play, yeah, rook f3 or queen f3, I was gonna suggest. And wow, Hikaru takes on f5. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so it will be 2 pieces against the rook and 2 pawns, I believe. Okay, so black is spending their time here. Do you take it with the queen or the pawn? Wow, okay, with the pawn. Because I was gonna say with the queen, like that's the logical approach to this. But if you take with the pawn, you can maybe play f4 and strengthen the pawn on e3. So it makes a lot of sense. But we don't see f4 happening anytime soon. Looks like white is now able to develop all of their pieces. They're now in good harmony, and it's much better here for white, I think. It's much easier to play here. You can like put the knights, like reroute them to really nice squares. I was expecting knight f4, but Hikaru's taking a different approach here, probably moving to f3 instead. And seems like he wants to go for that f5 pawn. Okay, black is running down on the clock. Rook takes f5. Don't even have... Oh yeah, the pawn was already hanging after knight e1. That's why he played it. Makes a lot of sense. Okay, rook h5, and now this pawn drops as well with the bishop, but you don't have a nice discovery check, so this is the best he can get. But this looks like a clear win for white now. White is able to bring all the pieces in the attack, can even take on e3 now. He takes on d6, also very winning because knight f5, and this looks like it's gonna be game over very soon. Knight f5, and a lot of things are hanging. Resignation. Alright. Really well done by both players. Black had some really nice chances. I really like seeing, you know, these kind of sacrifices that allow like these kind of crazy positions to happen, but it was not enough for black. Black was not able to make that into something really nice. Okay, let's have a look. Let's have a look at Min versus Ilya Niznik. I know Niznik from back in the day. I remember when I was very young, and he was also very young. He was playing in the Groningen Chess Festival in the Netherlands, and he won the tournament. He was super young, and it was very impressive seeing him, you know, being such a strong young player, win such a, you know, strong event. So I remember him from back in the day. We also met each other later, but yeah, have really good memories of Ilya Niznik. Let's see how he's playing in this game. So looks like... okay, so the position seems very drawish, but it is possible that things are gonna happen here. But I'm not sure who has greater chances here to swindle, because the pawn on h5 is under attack, but I'm not sure if black can make use of that. Well. There we go. There we go. But on the other hand, white also has a pawn taken on e6. So yeah, it's always so tricky with these kind of endgames, because you never know what's happening. With 2 queens on the board, is he gonna go for the repetition? It's a really hard decision to make. He goes for queen h4, queen a1. It's gonna take on c3. It's super, super hard to... Okay, he goes for d4, but there was queen takes c4 check. He didn't play queen takes c4 check. Okay. Very interesting. And now he refuses to take on d4, and there you go, repetition. Okay, okay. I got a little bit worried, because if you push too much here, you can lose any moment. I see Ilya saying in the chat, I thought I got you. Oh. That was a really nice game. That was a nice game. Okay. Oh, okay. Knight and 2 pawns against the rook. It should be a draw. But let me remind you, should be. You don't know what's gonna happen with 1 second increment. You think it's a lot, it's not a lot. And there we go, there we go, there we go. 92 and you... Wait! Oh, I was so scared it was gonna be your stalemate, but okay, this should be winning. With the right technique, this is winning. With the correct technique, h2, knight f2, there we go. Perfectly played by black here, wow. Yeah, I mean, it should be a draw, but we know in this time control, like, everything happens. All 3 results are possible in this time control. And not just because of flagging, let me put that out there. Okay, we have the final game of this round before the break. Whoa. I expected much less pawns in this game, you know? But yeah, we are on move 102. Has there been any pawn move recently? No. When was the last pawn move? I'm looking through the list of moves and I can't find the last pawn move. I genuinely cannot find it. I saw it on move 39, but we're already like 60 moves further. I'm not sure when there's gonna be 50 move rule. Okay, I see it on move 80 something. 86. We are in for a long ride here, guys. And you know what's funny? Black can add another 50 moves to this if he plays f6. Because the 50 move rule is only it's only gonna be a draw after 50 moves if there's no pawn push, no pawn move, and no capture. And since this is a pawn move, well... Wait a minute. Why is black... Oh my god, there was rook d1, I believe. And because the king is so much more active... Rook d1! Rook d1 is winning! And black went for the draw. But I think because the king was so active over here... It was really, really... easy to win there. Ouch. Ouch. It's kind of crazy eventually going for the draw anyway while, you know, fighting for so long. But okay. It's the end of round 8, everybody. We are moving on to the second break. After the break, we'll be back with round 9. 3 more rounds. Sadly, my hopes and dreams are not gonna happen today. We do not have a 100% score, sadly. But we've had some amazing games so far. I'm looking forward to the final 3 games. Stay where you are, guys, and I will be back in a few minutes. See you in a bit, guys. Hello everyone, we are back with Title Tuesday round 9 of this amazing weekly event on Chesscom. Before we jump into the games that are about to start in a minute, I would like to remind you of the following. Tomorrow we have winner stays going on Chesscom, and funnily enough, I'm also part of it. Tomorrow I'll be playing against WGM Dina Belenkaya, 7 a.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Central European time, and I'm super excited for that. We'll have a quick look at her game as well, so we can already start preparing for tomorrow. But obviously, there's also other match going on tomorrow. We have CEO Erik playing against Samai Reina at 9 a.m. Pacific time, and LSV against Crybaby Carly, 11 a.m. Pacific time. So lots of great matches going on tomorrow. I will make sure, guys, to make it very exciting. You know me, I like sacrificing, so expect a lot of sacrifices. There's a lot of games that we're gonna be expecting, so, you know, there's always some room for sacrifices there, you know? But yeah, super excited for that. Let's have a look at the games now. I believe, yeah, they have started already, so let's jump in that right away. Okay, let's have a look. Let me have a quick look at how Dina is doing as preparation for tomorrow. Oh, she's playing against I think this is really strong player from Hungary. Yeah. Okay, let's have a look. Knight of 3. Okay, G3. Okay, taking notes here. Yeah. Okay, bishop 4. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Queen D2. Okay. Okay, so Dina is she wants to give up the bishop pair. Okay, I'm writing down my notes, you know, for tomorrow. Let's see how the game continues. Okay, so surprisingly enough, Black spent already a lot of time. Okay, they have 1 minute left. Okay, I wouldn't say Dina is bad, but giving such timeouts is a bit too much, no? Obviously kidding. Okay, so she spent over 1.5 minutes on knight takes f4. Okay, g takes f4. Okay, Black seems a little bit busy. Not sure why Black is down so much on time, but okay. 96, we see how is Dina gonna continue in this position, because this pawn structure isn't the greatest, but it's not the worst. King h1, securing the king on h1. Yeah, I'm guessing Black is half AFK. I've seen people that are half AFK. I remember once I played in Title Tuesday, and I was trying to play from phone, and it was like while cooking. It was my first time. Well, okay, not really first time, but almost first time cooking. And I was playing Title Tuesday on my phone during cooking, and I had to I mean, I was losing big time in round 1, but I had to withdraw after that. It's just impossible to play 3+1 while doing something else, you know? So you never know. What I don't like about Title Tuesday is that all the games are being saved in the chess database. The chess databases that everyone is using to prepare against you. Obviously, it's kind of nice because maybe you can play whatever and then surprise your opponent with your actual repertoire or your actual prep. But it does reveal a lot at the same time, and also everyone will see the horrible blunders you've made in Title Tuesday. So it's you know, it's give and take. 90. Oh, wait, what's going on here? Can you wait? There's bishop takes g5 and rook h8. Oh, Dina. Okay, writing down some more notes. Okay. Um, Dina's king and queen love to hang out together, but okay. I'll need a rook to you know, have them detach from each other. Okay, so this should be winning for black now. Very unfortunate that Dina missed this tactic, and that's why it's so scary to put the king and the queen on the same file, rank, whatever, because you will be vulnerable to moves like rook h8. You'll be exposed to them, and then it will be very hard for your queen to survive. Okay. Knight c2. Dina is still trying to swindle this. Dina's still trying, but I mean, black is low on time, but I don't think they will mess up big time. Ooh, okay, gotta be careful. 94. There are some tricks there. Dina has some tricks up her sleeve. Rook h2. Ooh. Ooh. That is harsh. Queen takes f2, alright. And now the knight is jumping to f3, and that is going to be checkmate very soon. King h3, okay, and knight e2 instead, yep. And now there should be some checkmate pattern here. Rook g2, queen f3, there should be something here. Maybe knight g1. Okay, queen takes e3. Everything wins here. Anything wins here. It's kind of interesting seeing two rooks being so, like, usually they're so powerful together, but now they're not able to stop black's attack here. g1, queen g3. Are we gonna see the pawn push, or are we gonna see some more checks? Queen f3. Okay. King e1. I guess knight g2. Yeah, that's just securing the win. Okay, rook d2. Dina is still trying, but I don't think black is gonna mess this up. I don't think. But we've seen crazy things today, so never say never. But yeah, now it's just okay. You can play queen d1 check, and there's no fortress whatsoever. Okay, allowing both queens. Okay, and checkmate. GG. Well, guys, I guess I know enough now. I know what to do tomorrow. It's gonna be very, very easy. I'm expecting a great match, but I know perfectly what to do now. I'm all ready for tomorrow. Okay. Let's move on to a different game. GG. Yeah, black was so mean, giving time odds, you know. That was really mean. That was really mean. Okay, what's happening in this game, guys? Fandarine against Little Plotkin. Bishop. Oh no. Please don't tell me we're gonna go here again. We've seen already that in a similar position like this, the person with the pawns was able to lose. So I am holding my breath for both players here because I've seen things today. Tomorrow we have winner stays going on. I'll be participating in that event as well. And I'll be playing against Dina Belenkaya. Super excited for the match. And really looking forward to some crazy games tomorrow. But yeah, you can definitely tune in tomorrow on this channel. Winner stays. 3 amazing matches scheduled. Starting 4 p.m. CET. 7 a.m. Pacific time. Okay, but... oh, whoa, 50 move already? Whoa. These pawns could... Okay. See, that's how you defend. You just move around and don't touch the pawns. And you get the 50 move. Okay, let me unfollow Dina. I've seen enough. Don't need to watch more. No, we can watch this also. But, okay, let me have a look at the standings, guys. Because we missed quite a bit here and there. So we have the top 3 having 8 points out of 9. Let me double check this. Yeah, and then there's a huge amount of people with 7.5. Okay, not that many, but it's quite a lot. 7.5 out of 9. Oh, now Dina is giving timeouts. Okay. She decided to also give timeouts because that's what works. It's a strat. Okay. Last thing I'm writing down. Last thing I'm writing down. Okay. Let's have a look at how Hikaru is doing. Let's see. Okay. They are very far in the game already. Both players seem to be in their prep, or they're in very familiar position. Let's see. C takes b5. It does give up the center. Like, the center is, like, completely for black, but I have to say I'm a bit concerned about the pawns here, because he cannot push d5. You'll just lose the pawn on c5. So, yeah. It looks really nice, but you cannot make use of the fact that you have the center yet. So, a bit double-edged here, I would say. And you gotta be careful with bishop c6. Like, the black pieces are a bit iffy, you know? Knight e4 is a fantastic move, I feel like. It's kind of like giving black a hard time to put the pieces together, you know? Because basically, like, imagine if takes will happen. I'm not sure if bishop takes g7 or knight takes e4 is preferred, but basically it's really hard to defend everything here. There's gonna be lots of holes in black's position. So, okay, bishop c6 was played eventually. Okay. Is he gonna decide to take on f6? I really don't like this knight on a5. It's just stuck defending that bishop now because knight takes f6 is actually a threat. You have to keep defending that bishop over here. Rook fd1 has been played, trying to put more pressure on the pawn on d6. But it's really difficult now. Now that the pawns are really well defended, it's kind of hard to attack them. Knight d5, okay, allowing the bishop trade. Is there some queen b2 check maybe? a3, what a peaceful and quiet move there. Okay. Is there some b4 maybe to prepare some move like knight c3? Interesting. Surprisingly enough, like, we've seen Hikaru's games, and in almost all of his games he was up on time, but now once again he's down on time. So, oh, now the pawns are falling. Wait, that happened really quickly. I saw a3 and then after b4. Okay, I guess my suggestion wasn't great, but but okay, my suggestion was the same as what Hikaru was thinking about, so I'll take that. Anyways, the pawn structure is falling apart. Pawn on c5 is hanging. The knights are super strong in the middle of this board. Pawn on a3 is a bit weak as well. So I'm seeing some nice chances here for white. So is he gonna take here already? Because you will be dropping the pawn on b3. So I'm not sure if that is very ideal. Interesting. And obviously he cannot take with the knight because then this knight will drop. So instead, white plays rook a1. Very quiet move. Let's see. What happens after rook takes b3? I'm guessing there is something like knight c4 attacking that knight. Interesting. He's allowing this capture to happen. That's quite interesting. Okay, what is Hikaru gonna do here? Is he gonna take it? Oh, but I guess if takes... Oh, he takes with the knight instead. Allows rook takes a3, plays knight d4. Oh, it's getting a little bit shaky over king h2. And there is rook a7 being threatened in the position. Is he still gonna play it? It's still a check now. It's very interesting to see. Like, there's nothing going on. I mean, you don't see, like, there is a checkmate or, like, you can win material on the spot. But the engine is favoring white big time. But now after rook a7 and king g8, it's not so clear anymore. I'm guessing that this knight is in trouble. But now there's rook takes f2. Okay. Can you still go back to e4? Attack the rook? This is really sharp game. I guess after knight e4, there's knight e3, and now this bishop is having problems. So he plays this one to e4. What happens after knight e3? Oh, he takes on g2 instead. Wow. But now if he takes on e4, then this knight is also dropping. It's so complicated. I'm not sure what's happening. So the players have traded the pieces, and we're now in the 2 rooks versus bishop and rook endgame with a pawn up for black. But it's probably not, well, it's not enough to win the game, but it is probably enough to hold it for the draw. But I have to say that the rook is cutting off this king very, very well, which can cause some complications here for black. It might not be so easy to defend. We see that the rook is attacking the pawn here, bishop d5. Now the king is on his way all the way, not like that, but you get the point, all the way to f6. Can the king make it? Rook h7, threatening checkmate, so king g8 is defending that. White could have taken on h6, but the white is first trying to push the king forward, which makes a lot of sense. You need the king to be able to do anything here. Rook e7 has been played. Okay. Attacking the pawn there. Wait, I'm just seeing the time difference. White has a minute on the clock while Hikaru is in huge time trouble, and White was able to take both pawns on the king side. Rook b2, this is not looking good for... Gotta be careful of the checkmate. Okay, rook f5, good. Imagine. Okay, this should be easily winning for White. It's incredible how White was able to convert this to such a great position. He was able to take all of the pawns in the end on the king side. It felt like it was impossible, but he managed to make his way to that position, to this position. Okay, and we're gonna see rook trade here, and that is okay. Avoided, very good. And what's the plan now? See, White has so much time on the clock. It's so easy to just sit down and like think about it. Whereas Black has to make the moves instantly. It's only 1 second increment. You can flag any moment. And now the king is going forward. If there's a check, then we defend like this. If it's check on e8. Okay, I was expecting rook e7, but I guess this works as well. Okay. Okay, so he's trying to bring the king to c7 and then play rook d8 to trade off the... Okay. It's getting a little bit tricky, not gonna lie. Ugh. Okay, this is... Yeah, this is easily winning. This is even easier, I feel like. Okay. Yeah, now it's just the... It's White's job to just simply put the king on f7, push the pawn, and then find a way to promote. And there we see, I guess, a kind of resignation. Because if you're low on time and you want to resign, and like it's always like you want to press the resign button and then the time runs out. So I guess that was a sign of resignation by Hikaru. Really well done by Valery Sviridov. Very well done. That was such a clean conversion. It wasn't so clear. Like from the start, we were seeing the, let's have a look. This position, it looked a bit drawish, you know? And he was able to convert this to win. It's very, very impressive. We have a few games left in this round, guys. It's round 10. And as you know, there are 11 rounds. So one more game, one more round after this. The final round. And we are seeing that 5 people have 8.5 out of 10 so far. It's getting really close at the top. Okay. Oh god, we are seeing rook versus rook and bishop versus rook, guys. Are we gonna see a checkmate? You know, I've been seeing many positions like this in Title Tuesday. And when I got this position over the board, I was the one with rook and bishop. I was so sad seeing how easy it was. Oh no, it was rook versus bishop. I was so sad seeing how easy it is to defend. Because my opponent was just moving the bishop back and forth. And I couldn't progress in any way possible. I was so upset because I thought I could at least, like, you know, often you see that players try to go to the corner or like go to the edge of the board and then just like go back and forth. But my opponent was going back and forth without being on the edge with their king. So that really, like, that was really disturbing. That's really disturbing. But yeah. The trick here is often that you try to rotate the board. So we saw the exact same position a few moves ago, right? The trick here is with the white pieces to rotate the board as you're seeing here right now. Oh, we're g4. That is not a free rook. Well, it is, but it will end up in stalemate. So the trick is to rotate the board and then like confuse your opponent. It's all about confusing your opponent so that your opponent will make a mistake. But I think, there we go. I was about to say we're approaching the 50 move rule, and there we go. The game has been ended in a draw. All right. Is there another game going on right now? Nope. We are moving on to the last round, everybody. We have 5 players fighting for, well, actually, there's more players, but 5 players have 8.5 out of 10. And there's even more players following with 8 out of 10. So, we can have many winners today, I believe. Let's have a look. Board 1, Valery Sviridov against Mishanik. Let's see what they play. Okay, knight f3, d5. Knight f3 seems like the most popular move of today. I think I haven't seen many, like, we've seen so many knight f3 games. Maybe I should, oh, a draw offer. They agreed on a draw. Wow. Okay. That means we have 2 players now with 9 out of 11. Let's jump to a different game real quick. I did not expect this draw offer to happen. Let's have a look. Okay. All right, let's have a look. Oh, we're on the London system. Wow. So the top 2 openings of today, London system and the Rati opening. Well, I mean knight f3, but that can transpose to many, many openings. All right, so we're seeing the London system over here. A kind of an interesting approach here. It's with c4. Usually you don't see, well, in high-level chess you see c4 very often, but generally when people speak about the London system, they don't play c4. They play this setup with c3, e3, bishop d3, which is why this is a bit different than usual. But it's still the London system. Queen b4 is offering a trade of the queens. If you take knight takes b4, I would be concerned about this. Oh, but bishop takes b4 happened. All right, all right. I guess it was just long castle and you're not in trouble. So this develops a piece. Are you going to see a draw here as well? Both players are trading pieces like it's nothing. Like they don't want to fight, you know. But okay, a5 has been played, strengthening the position of the bishop. If you take, I take, and your pawn on a2 will be in trouble. But okay, so now it's the same issue. You will take the pawn on c7, but you lose the pawn on a2. And the rook on a8 will be much more active than this rook. So that's why white does not want to take yet. At the same time, black can develop here. Where does the knight go? d7, c6? I wouldn't be so sure. Bishop goes back. Okay, that's a very interesting, really interesting move. Okay. I guess you can have bishop e. You can play bishop e2 here. I don't see much here for both sides. It's just a very calm, peaceful position. Makes me want to look at Bortnik's game. But I'm not sure. Is he... I don't see him in the top 10, so he might be... Okay, he is playing. Okay, we can have a look at his game in a little bit. Let's see how this game develops. Maybe there's going to be some crazy things happening anytime soon. Knight f4, threatening... well, preparing bishop c4 to threaten... to take on e6. Knight e2. Okay. The knight is being was rerouted to g3. Yeah, I'm a bit confused about this bishop because it looked like a decent bishop, but it's kind of stuck between 2 pawns, and it doesn't have any moves whatsoever. Best you can do is bishop d2. I guess you would want to play e4 here with the white pieces, but obviously that's not possible because after takes, you will lose that pawn. So white is a little bit stuck here, I would say. It's much easier for black to move your pieces around here. Black plays c6. I guess they... Oh, I was gonna say maybe to play knight d5, but Jeffrey offered a draw. I don't know if you heard the sound, but Jeffrey offered a draw and Min declined the draw offer. So we're in here for a ride, guys, because that means they're not going for a draw. Well, maybe Jeffrey is, but Min has other plans. Min has other plans, and I love to hear that. In the meantime, I see Ilya Niznik also on 9 points out of 11. So we have a 3-way tie right now for first place. And it seems like he has the better tie breaks as well. By the way, Jeffrey has amazing tie breaks. I'm just seeing it. 57 points. That's like the highest out of everyone in the top 10. So if he draws here, he has very good chances to be first place. So that's probably why he wants to go for the draw, knowing that he has great tie breaks. So let's see what's happening now. So white has the pair of bishops now. But this knight is pretty good. I wouldn't complain about it. There you go. That's why white took the knight, because it was pretty good over there. But I have to admit, I'm not a fan of that bishop. If you play e4 here, yeah, there you go. And like this bishop is just stuck. Best you can do is try to play b4 and try to like trade it with that bishop. But this bishop is much better. This bishop is like stuck in this pawn chain over here. It's like the French bishop, but worse. Much worse. London Bridge is falling down. You have noted that very well. Yeah, I remember in the London system that the bishop is out of the chain, you know? So, Yeah, this seems like a comfortable position here for black. I wouldn't say it's winning yet, but it's a very comfortable position. Black is not in a rush. They are fine with the draw. We also see that someone else joined the 9 out of 11 group. I believe Fair Chess on YouTube has joined the crowd of the players with 9 points. Let's see who's gonna join that crowd. You like the London? Oh, it makes sense. I don't judge people. Well, I do judge people that play the London, but I also don't judge people. You know, it's like mixed feelings. Very mixed feelings. At the same time, Min is down on time. 8 seconds on the clock. Are we gonna see? Yes, we see the repetition. There we go. Jeffrey is probably first place right now. There we go. He is first place with 57 points of the tiebreak system. We have 6 people on first place, guys. Are there still games going on? From the top, let's have a look. We have Indian Lad against Howitzer. Indian Lad can still cross this crowd. Is he able to win? Ooh, looks like he's not on the winning side of this game. But if Howitzer wins, I believe that's David Howell, then he will join the crowd of people with 9 points. Oh god. Well, that's gonna be very exciting, I think. That's gonna be very, very exciting. Okay, looks like white is able to... Oh. Suddenly, white is able to draw this game. Ouch. Okay, so far, so good. All the pawns are hanging, so there's not gonna be, like, a surprise happening yet. But I'm holding my breath. King a3. Ugh. Okay, after king c3, there was d5 probably, so that's why it wasn't played. Oh, there we go. It's not winning, but it's scary. For some reason, the engine likes it after King E2. Okay, interesting. Well, the game ended in a draw. That means that Indian lad is joining the crowd. You cannot see all the people with 9 points, guys. Oh my goodness. We have 9 people finishing 9 out of 11. We have 9 people. You can't see it, but Christopher, you also has 9 points. So well, it's a bit unfortunate to those that don't have enough tiebreak points, but that's a bit unfortunate. We still have a few games left, I believe. Let's have a look. I think this game is still going on. I'm trying to... Oh, this one is ended, of course. This one also ended. Do we still have games going on, guys? Nope. Nope. We have another game. Okay, I managed to find the game that is still going on. Let's have a look. Whoa. Night of... Oh, no, this just ended. Sorry, I didn't get the tab that it ended. Oh, there we go. That's the end of the tournament, guys. That's the end of Title Tuesday of this week. We have 9 people on first place, but based on tie breaks, we see that Jeffrey Zhang is on first place. Second place, Ilya Niznik. Really, really happy to see him on second place. Third place, Mishanik played a really great tournament. We are watching a couple of his big games as well. Fourth place is Min, and I believe the prizes are being given out based on tie-break points. So I'm not sure about the rest, but they're worth mentioning that they have 9 points. Bogdan Deak, Sviridov Valery, Indian Lad, Fair Chess on YouTube, and Christopher Yu. Sadly, Hikaru is just outside of this crowd with 8.5 out of 11, but we saw some amazing games of all of those top players. They're really good at chess, but they also are able of blundering, and that makes us, feel a bit better about ourselves. But yeah, that concludes Title Tuesday for this week. I would like to thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a lot of fun. Don't forget to follow me on my channel because I also stream on Anna-Maja. You can follow me right there. And don't forget to tune in for tomorrow, because tomorrow it is a rest day of Tata Steel, but we do have Winners Days going on. I'll be participating there, and I hope to see you tomorrow. 4 p.m. CET, 7 a.m. Pacific time. Be here, same time. Well, not same time. Usually they say that, but it's not the same time. 4 p.m. CET, same place. See you there, guys. Thank you so much.